Now that Jonah was thrown out of the ship into the sea, God sent a fish to swallow him. Jonah chapter 2 verse 1 says, "From inside the fish, Jonah prayed to the Lord his God." Notice that from inside the fish, in other words, when there was no other way out, he prayed to the Lord. If God had applied justice, what would have happened to Jonah? God was already expressing mercy in Jonah's life, while he was being disobedient directly towards the true living God. Verse 10 says, "And the Lord commanded the fish, and it vomited Jonah onto dry land." God expressed his grace and mercy in Jonah's life, giving him one more chance to obey the will of the Lord. Now comes the most joyful part of the book of Jonah to me, which is in chapter 3 verses 1 to 3, when it says, "Then the word of the Lord came to Jonah a second time, to go to the great city of Nineveh and proclaim to it the message I give you." Jonah obeyed the word of the Lord and went to Nineveh. Now Nineveh was a very large city. It took 3 days to go through it. Then Jonah preached. The whole city fasted and repented. The enemies of Israel. It took them one calling, one time, one preacher, one word of God, and they repented. God spoke to Jonah twice on the same subject. The enemies of Israel had more reverence and respect for God's word than many people who call themselves Christians and live like there is no God. Jonah 3 verse 10, "When God saw what they did and how they turned from their evil ways, he relented and did not bring on them the destruction he had threatened." In chapter 4 verse 2, Jonah will get very angry, pray and say, "I knew that you are a gracious and compassionate God, slow to anger and abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity." Jonah was angry because God saved the enemies of Israel. Would you get angry if you saw that God restored and saved your enemy, or the people who did you wrong? How would you react to that? Would you be filled with thanksgiving or anger?